I find Ghent that is extremely friendly and beautiful. It has some really breathtaking views, but most importantly for internationals, it has really friendly people. Now, I'm from the Balkans, and we come from areas that are really tight together, where people are really crazy, all up and down, and so you kind of get warned by other people. Like when you go to Belgium, people are colder, they don't really communicate very much. However, I was actually surprised for good that people are really friendly. You get warned about how people are not very open. However, I find that the Belgians are really, especially the Flemish people, that's my experience, that they're a bit distant in the beginning, but that they're really actually very good friends at heart. They have helped me move my houses without any problem, so it was really nice. A lot of students have done a very good job in organizing in very informal groups. There's Facebook groups that I have found a bit later. One of them is called Expats in Ghent, so it's actually, they do a lot of activities together, they give a lot of advice. That is very hard normally to find in maybe official websites or even in the university website sometimes, because it has just let's just call it not a very simple sitemap on the universities. What these groups usually do, they give you a lot of information, like just people commenting on stuff, so it actually makes your life a lot easier. As a foreigner, I've noticed when people meet you for the first time, it's very common to exchange kisses on the cheeks, which is very unusual at least from my region. And it doesn't mean that we find it very uncomfortable or anything, you just don't know. And of course, do not forget, it's either 1 or 3 kisses, never 2 kisses. That's one of the rules I learned as well. So you're always there trying to figure out what to do. So yeah. Ghent is a bit too Flemish in the sense that sometimes it lacks signs in English. Yeah, a bit more direction in English would be a lot better.
Oh, well, I don't know much about Ghent in forehand, but I expect to get to know the city. I expect to get to know what have Ghent really have success with, and what can I learn, what can I take home, and also I expect to have some new perspective on the work that I do on a daily basis.
I think the subject, of course Ghent altogether with the university and city collaboration, that's an interesting theme altogether. But I think about students, student housing and student and public spaces, that's a special interest to me, because at the moment in my city, in Tampere, Finland, we are focusing a lot on urban development, and we are focusing on open innovation platforms, open spaces, and campus development is one of the key issues that's going on in Tampere at the moment. So it's a very up-to-date subject matter to us as well.
Apart from the obvious, there will be an entrance to the surface from the higher level of the
welcome you here, so many of you.
Welcome in Ghent, sparkling city of knowledge and culture, as we like to say, since the end of the 90s. Our city baseline has become stronger ever since. Indeed, as you will no doubt have witnessed yourself by now, Our city boasts an overwhelming offer of monuments and museums. And of course, Ghent has been the biggest student city in the country for several consecutive years now. We know each other, that we are here with almost 15 cities. If we have a problem, we said, let's look to Aachen, let's look to Delft. For instance, Aachen has a new form of housing for the students, a form where the student can live with a landlady, as they called it. So that's something that we saw by them and that we wanted to realize also. It's very important that we share our knowledge, because as we see, all cities with big universities has the same problems, but doesn't have the same answers. And we learn from each other. You know that Ghent is not only one of the oldest university cities, but also the biggest student city in our country. We have over 70,000 students in our university and university colleges. In only a city of 250,000 inhabitants, so that means something on that society, on the social life in the city.
The public domain in this area is not only worn out, but it is also highly focused on car traffic, as shown here on the pictures. Many streets and squares date back to the post-war period, and there is absolute no public greenery, and the scarce green spots are not coherent. Since students and tourists prefer other means of transport than the car, it becomes clear that an adapted public space for pedestrians and cyclists is an absolute necessity. In the redevelopment of public space, we focus on meeting areas and shared space. On the other hand, we have to beware of user claims and dominant use of the public space. Please sit down on 4 groups, shown on the slides. This is the first group, and each group will focus on the 3 questions and on 1 area. So you have to choose, you get 1 area and you get the 3 questions.
It is very inspiring to hear the stories of other cities and universities about how they are working together, but also about what problems and which opportunities they are dealing with.
I believe it's unseen and unique that universities and city councils find each other in a joint project, and I believe it's very interesting to see how mayors or city councils perceive universities in their cities, and otherwise how academic leadership perceive the visions that cities has on their students and on the city life. So I believe it's very interesting and inspiring that the both come together and share ideas and share best practices. I believe the Ghent case is very specific in this project, because in Ghent the university and the university colleges are integrated in the city center, where in other universities and where other university campuses are located outside the city center. So we have a specific case where the university and the student life is situated and cause some tensions with inhabitants in the city. We have different challenges than other cities and universities have. So I think we have a specific case with specific challenges on housing, on mobility, on co-creating the urban life in the city. So I think we have a lot to give to other tandems of universities and cities. Yeah. Yeah. The greatest added value of this project is that we bring in people from the city administration together with people of the university administration. They sat down in work groups for several occasions, and they really learned to get to know each other. There are no personal contacts. The city administration is not a black box anymore for the people of the university. The personal contacts have grown, and that's good. That's very positive for the future. It's a good perspective for further collaboration between the two.
First thing I take home is that it is very nice to have a university in the middle of your city, because in many cities it's not like this. They have the university outside the city in a campus, and there are all the students, and the city can sometimes be a bit boring. But here the city is not boring, it's very lively, very nice. So I want to start with the very good thing of Ghent, that you have this very liveliness and very dynamic.
The campus of the university is so integrated in the city and mixed with the city. And that is something we all strive to achieve, and in Ghent it's already there. And that's a real positive, and it's a total mixture, and you can almost not see what is a university building and what is not a university building, and I like that really well. We're trying to urbanize the university campuses and make them attractive for students, and not just to go study, but to go have cultural experiences or creator businesses, and mix the life in a campus as it should be. And I think Ghent has come a far way in here. I learned that many students here in Ghent just come here for the week and then go home in the weekend and kind of have their social environments back home. But in Norway, it's quite the opposite. When you move to a student city, you move there and become a part of the city and become an inhabitant in the city. And the weekends are for the parties and the cultural experiences, and a student would never think of going home in the weekend.